what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video we're diving into the Pirate Alliance Kizuna Clash versus Sakazuki for the 6+ Akainu and the upcoming Kizuna Clash. And in today's video, we're utilizing teams that use a friend captain Whitebeard to maximize your tickets and your coin gain, so that way you can get the 6+ of this unit nice and quickly. Now, in today's video, I have prioritized not utilizing the One Piece Day, Memories of the Straw Hat characters. I've tried to steer away from any banner that I've told you guys not to summon on. I just haven't used those particular units. However, where I have said to summon on, or like regular legends that have been out for a little while, they will be included in today's video. If these teams don't help you out exactly, go check out the buildable no new unit teams. That'll help you guys out if you're missing, say, Whitebeard friend captains, or if you are missing some of these particular characters in today's video. If you enjoy the video, it helps you guys out, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. With that said, let's take a look at the first variation, which is Dex. No, Quick. It's Quick. However, type advantage doesn't mean anything in the Kizuna mode for this particular run, because every single boss has a particular debuff, or buff, I should say, that just completely removes color affinity. What they do have, though, so as you can see there, 98 turns of removed type effects. What every boss does have, though, is weakness, class, powerhouse. So instead of having super, type advantage, you're going to have class advantage, which means that if you bring powerhouse teams, you are going to get a little bit more damage, just like you are hitting with type advantage. For the quick variation, Whitebeard, the Rare Recruit Vista, and Jozu from different batches are boosted. Or the recommended characters, I should say. Dex, Quick, and Int get all the good stuff. 5 turns of attack down, 3 turns of an attack down below 2.75 chain, and 5 turns of chain multiply growth rate reduction on turn 2. After level 31, which these teams are built for, Akainu has the regular blowaway stuff. He's weak to powerhouse classes. He puts up a barrier for 2 tandem orbs for 2 turns. He gives you a full bottle block orbs, full immunity except for increased damage taken. Normal attacks only. 1 turn of damage reduction, defense up threshold, 6 turns of paralysis, 6 turns of resilience, and 5 turns of an attack down if you tap with any type orb. On top of that, there is that type effects bonus or reduction that you do have as well. Now, for this particular team, we're rocking Kaido with a friend captain Whitebeard. Kaido is such a monster, and even though he's not like a bespoke powerhouse captain, he still is a powerhouse unit. So you can hybrid him up with the new Whitebeard quite nicely. And with the rest of the team, if you can build out a bunch of driven characters, which we've actually done, you're going to get access to the second part of his captain ability that states, if you have 4 or more driven characters on the crew, you reduce 10 turns of paralysis and special reverse. On top of this, Kaido's special ability, not only being a orb manipulator to give tandem orbs, will also remove the damage reduction and the threshold. It's only 1 turn of each, but he's still going to do that. Plus, he's going to give you a 2 times increased damage taken. We don't have 6 driven characters on the crew, but we do have 4, so we can still apply a 2 times increased damage taken and remove the effects there as well. With Kaido too, his special ability gets stronger, the attack boost, depending on how many effects you apply to the enemy. Now, Jack is going to proc on turn 2 to get around the attack down, as well as the attack down below a certain chain. Jack just removes 6 turns of attack down. He gives you a chain boundary. Plus, he's a driven striker, so he gets buffed under both Kaido and under Whitebeard, which is great. Next, we've got Kid, same deal, driven striker. He's going to be the orb booster for this team. Plus, he also has the ability to give you tap timing bonus as well. He gives you a full board tandem orb, so he's another great option for the tandem orb barrier. But really, he's here for the tap timing and to be our orb boosting effect at 2.5 times, I believe, because we already have the attack boost from Kaido. Just make sure you use Kid after. Next, we've got Big Mom. Big Mom's going to apply a burn mechanic. She allows you to get a double conditional boost too. Works very, very nicely because Kaido is going to apply increased damage taken. And with Queen, you can actually get a increased damage taken conditional boost, plus you get end of turn damage to get around the resilience. Kaido's going to take care of the paralysis. Whitebeard's going to give you chain boundary on the final stage. Unfortunately, you don't have access to his super class, but we still turn everyone into powerhouse characters that aren't already, so that way we hit with the weakness buff, plus we get, again, the chain boundary, all that fun stuff that Whitebeard can provide. So that's the team versus Dex. Moving on to Sai now. Once again, we are using Kaido, but on the Sai variation, the Whitebeard, Rare Recruit Marco, and the free-to-play Arlong are actually the recommended characters. I love that the Arlong is a recommended character. It helps out a great deal. Striker, Cerebral Powerhouse, get all the good stuff. On turn 2, your right-hand column gets special rule blinded. Your left-hand column gets special reversed. And they get the perfect, like, tap timing. So that way you can't actually just pass a turn. There's 5 turns of paralysis once again. And then on the final stage, after level 31, Sakazuki is immune to the blowaway stuff. He's weak to powerhouse types. The preemptive gives you an 80% HP cut. The left-hand column gets 7 turn of special bind. It's normal attacks only, full immunity except for defense down. Crewmate gets stun of 5 times damage on your bottom row. There is remove type effects. Well, actually, I think it's all crewmates, actually, now I'm looking at it. You lose your type effect buffs. It's 5 turns of damage reduction and 1 turn of defense up. If you use a slot effect boost for 1 time, you'll get a 20% HP cut, paralysis, despair, and special reverse. So don't do that. It's not fun. And then on death, there is 30,000 damage. So as mentioned, once again, we are using Kaido. Kaido's great because, again, he can get around the paralysis, but he can also get around the special rewind. Once again, though, you do have to try and build the team with 4 driven characters to get this. But with this unit, he gives you the attack buff, plus he can get that utility as well. He does boost the entire team, which is awesome. Even though everyone's not driven, it's still going to work out quite nicely. Next, we've got... for stage 2, we've got the free-to-play Moria from the Super Boss last month. This particular Moria has a very unique ability to apply end-of-turn damage, but the real reason we want to use him is because if you're below 50% HP, you get a 2.25 orb boost for 3 turns, and he can give Special Bind as well as Special Reverse. Now, the Special Reverse isn't that big of a deal because Kaido's actually bypassing that, but he can still give the Special Bind removal for turn 2. Not that it matters too much, but you just want to make sure that you use Whitebeard first, get the 3-turn chain boundary, cut your HP by 50%, then use Moria, and Moria is going to give you the 3 turns of the orb buff. Remember, there's an interrupt on orb buffs, you don't want to have to deal with it, so you're going to be in for a good time there. Kaido's versatility is going to increase his orb buff as well, so that's always going to be fun. And then on the final stage, we have Arlong to get around the stun. Arlong's going to set defense to 0, which is awesome. He's also going to apply increased damage taken. Unfortunately, he's not a driven character, but he's still very, very good for this particular fight. Then we've got King. King's going to remove the special bind that gets inflicted on the left-hand side. Whitebeard can kind of do it with his superclass. However, you kind of just don't have access to that, unfortunately. So just be mindful of that. I'm actually going to do this because, like, Big Mom, you don't need Big Mom to get special minded. Big Mom's going to be your double conditional booster. We really only have 1 conditional booster for this particular team, but look, it is what it is. If you don't want to use Big Mom, you can use Queen. Queen's going to work great, but I thought I'd showcase the support of Queen on this particular team because you'll get minus 10% resistance to all types, which means Kaido's attack buff is going to go higher because it's 5 different debuffs you're actually applying to the enemy, which is really interesting. Plus, you have the increased damage taken then from Arlong. You'll have the burn from Big Mom. You have the defense down from Arlong as well. So you have some really, really cool effects there. Plus, with Alba, you can actually apply some resistance. As long as you have an attack buff, an orb buff, an attack buff, and a chain boost, you can actually apply resistance. The downside to like characters like Alba and Queen and Jack is you have to use Kaido before them, otherwise you won't have the attack buff. Once you have done all that, you can use the Whitebeard special once again. He has that pseudo double special activation, and that's going to turn everyone into powerhouse characters if they aren't already. Everyone in this team actually already is, so it works out pretty hunky-dory that way. You do take 30,000 damage though. Whitebeard is going to reduce it by 20%, and then any damage reduction support like Mr. 3, or there's this particular cracker I thought I would showcase just because he's probably a little bit more accessible for most people. He does 50% damage reduction on special on any Big Mom character as well, so that works great. Onto the final variation, we have the strength fight, but again, type doesn't matter. Whitebeard and Reiju are the recommended characters. Powerhouse Fighter and Free Spirit get all the good stuff. On turn 2, you have to deal with special bind and bind on the left-hand column. So make sure you put your bind remover on the right and make sure they can remove special bind as well. Unless you're running 2 Whitebeards, for crying out loud. On the final stage, at level 31 plus, which this team is designed for, there is the blowaway shenanigans, weak to powerhouse, preemptive. If your top right is a free spirit, they added this extra line that says minus 50% free spirit resistance. So free spirits just hit 50% harder, I guess. As for the rest of the shenaniganry, you get an attack down if you blow a 3 times chain, 2 turns over 1.1 chain lock, an attack down, a chain multiplier growth rate of 0.1, 5 turns of threshold, normal attacks only, full immunity except poison, remove type effects, and all orbs will be turned into either paralysis or poison slots. So you have to deal with both of them. So bring your characters and get around both. Interrupt on a chain boost as well for 1 turn. The enemy will put up the new territory enemy mechanic as well. So for this team, we're using the big dog, Super Sugo 10th Anniversary Luffy. He's a great powerhouse captain. He's going to be an attack booster. He can remove the threshold, which is awesome. Very, very powerful unit. He can remove the bind as well, too. So if you want to use him on the turn before, and then bring another character for, special binds, you can do that, but then you'll have to find another character for threshold as well. A really good character that's great at getting around both the bind and the special bind that works under Luffy, because he's a fighter, is this particular Sanji. This Sanji is going to give you a chain boost for that turn, and because your captain is a fighter or free spirit class, he has the 5-turn special bind and bind removal. Remember, you only need 5 turns of it, you're covered. As long as you have sockets, you're going to be in a good spot. On top of that, he has the Reiju support. This is a free-to-play character. This unit will remove chain lock multiplier by 3 turns and makes cruise recovery slots have matching slot effects whenever the enemy changes your slot effects. And on the final stage, the enemy is actually going to change your slots into paralysis and poison. So this support will trigger. It'll remove the 2-turn chain lock, and then you can apply your own chain boundary from Whitebeard that way. To get around the poison and paralysis slots, we have Marco. He removes 5 turns of paralysis, plus he completely removes poison. He triggers the Whitebeard super class as well, which is really, really nice. He's a very, very good character for this. On turn 2, we are going to utilize the special of Roger. Roger can actually give us an orb buff, I believe, with this team. I'm pretty sure he gives an orb buff with powerhouse captains. If your captain is a powerhouse, he gives 2 turns of a slot effect boost, which is awesome, and it can't be removed. Plus, you actually have access to his EX because we have an Ace, we have a Luffy, and we have a Newgate on the team. So that way you can carry that orb buff into the final stage, and you're going to be off to the races there. With that, you have attack with Luffy, orbs with Roger, you have the orb manipulation with Marco, Whitey Base, just a nice cheeky little chain support, and then finally we have Ace. Because we have an orb buff from Roger, Ace is actually going to be a conditional buff. Plus, Ace, he increases color affinity, but we're not going to have that. Luffy's going to buff the orb buff of Roger, which is great. And then finally, we have all of the chain shenanigans of Whitebeard. Now, you're probably looking at this team thinking, Stump, the Ace and the Sanji, they're not getting buffed under Whitebeard. Well, Whitebeard is going to turn them into powerhouse characters, which is going to work for both Luffy and Whitebeard, and then you're going to be off to the races that way. You have Super Tandem with Roger, tapping into, say, Ace, then you can go around the circle, finish off with the rush of your Luffy, or finish with Ace, whatever works for you guys. Just whoever has the highest rush, I suppose. Whitebeard's going to be hitting very, very hard, just be mindful of that, but even still, you don't have type effectiveness, so there is no rainbow types this time anyway. As for that Sabo support, that's just more damage. I just thought it'd be fun to do that. But if you guys want something other chain boost, you could run Legend Sabo there as well. But that's going to wrap up the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later!